Floods in Nairobi have become a recurring reality in recent years. Sometimes devastating, sometimes deadly. Lives lost, homes destroyed, infrastructure crippled. The most recent tragedy struck on the evening of Saturday, March 7, 2026. What began as light showers quickly escalated into flash floods that brought the capital to a standstill. At around 5 p.m., the rain seemed ordinary, but within hours, streets turned into rivers. Commuters struggled through chest-deep water trying to get home after a long day. Major roads became impassable. Cars were submerged, shops flooded, and a sizable chunk of the city was cut off. Some people were rescued. Others, however, were not so lucky. According to the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, more than 30 lives were lost in Nairobi, with over 60 fatalities nationwide. For many families, what began as an ordinary day ended in tragedy. Officials at the Nairobi City County government say the crisis is largely due to a long-standing problem: poor drainage, a problem that has been known for decades. 2 years ago, Nairobi's Governor Johnson Sakaja warned that fixing the city's drainage system would cost about 25 billion Kenya shillings.
The drainage people say we need to improve. To increase the drainage in Nairobi County, for rain that comes maybe once a year, costs around 25 billion shillings.
But as the floods of March 7 showed, the problem remains far from solved. To understand Nairobi's flooding crisis, experts point to two major causes. First, the city's geology. Second, governance. Scientists have long warned that Nairobi's landscape makes it vulnerable to flooding. A geological study by Matthew et al. 2011 found that the city sits on volcanic clay soils that absorb water extremely slowly. In simple terms, the ground behaves almost like concrete. When heavy rains fall, water struggles to seep into the soil. Instead, it flows across the surface. Historically, Nairobi had natural flood buffers, wetlands, open spaces, and riparian reserves. These acted like sponges, absorbing excess water. But many of these natural drainage areas have gradually disappeared, paved over, built on, or encroached upon. So when seasonal rains arrive, the water has nowhere to go. Flooding in Nairobi is not just a natural disaster. It is also a governance issue, where weak planning, enforcement, poor infrastructure maintenance, and corruption have gradually crippled the city's drainage system. Laws prohibit building on riverbanks and drainage corridors, yet illegal developments continue along waterways such as the Nairobi River, often with little enforcement from responsible authorities. Urban expansion has accelerated rapidly across the city, but in many cases, new housing estates and commercial developments were approved without adequate stormwater infrastructure. This puts enormous pressure on an already strained drainage system. At the same time, many drains across the city remain clogged with garbage, silt, and construction debris. Without proper maintenance, even moderate rainfall can trigger destructive flooding. In short, nature may bring the rain, but governance determines whether a city survives it.